is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that? It is Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie. Welcome to the Wednesday podcast. Emmys. I think the night is a bit better than the Oscars. I've been to so many Academy Awards.
Oh, really? Tell us about...
Boring.
So you were there this time at the Emmys?
At least at the Emmys, you can sneak a couple of hip flasks in.
Oh, that's true.
The after parties are amazeballs.
Sure thing.
I went to... What streaming's after party did you go to last night, mate?
I was at the Netflix one. I was hired, though, as a dancer.
Gotcha.
So it was called Net Strips.
That is so bad.
Where I had to
That
get up.
is so bad.
But I was actually dressed as a cat at the time, so it was called Petflix. So it was a really weird night.
Good things come in three, Tommy. What do you Here we go.
But then,
have you got a drone for us there, Jess? What have you got?
The thing was, what I had to remove, I was actually there sort of dressed almost like the Rocky Horror Show. I was in Fish Netflix. So, welcome to the podcast.
And it is the start of the podcast, so this will go down in history. Please, we've got to register that at the Acris, don't we?
Thank you.
Break of the year.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about the Emmys. An amazing performance from Richard Gadd, the man who put Baby Reindeer together. He won 2 Emmys himself, and he had an amazing speech. You're going to hear that in the podcast.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
This time yesterday, we were talking about the home invader who decided to do it. I don't know why you would go to Guildford to actually think that you could get away with something like that, because the locals got a hold of him and he got away from them, but unfortunately they gave him a couple before he got away, and he landed up in a neighbour's pool and then was arrested. And as he was leaving in the ambulance/police wagon, this is what a local was saying to him.
That's what happens when you steal from Guildford.
I just love how proud he is when he says Guildford. That's what happens when you steal from Guildford.
I love it. So we were asking people yesterday, did the locals get to them before the cops did?
Yeah.
Someone sent me a video. So this is up in far north Queensland, of a guy who realised that someone was stealing his ute, and this is the news story.
Topless Terry Dennehy sprints towards his shed. He has one thing on his mind.
I thought, no way, no one's taking me ute, that's mine.
As the vehicle picks up speed, Terry lunges into the Land Cruiser.
So I ain't much to go and stop it, so I thought, well, the only way I can do is jump in with him. If he's going, I'm going with him.
He puts the thief in a headlock and takes control of the steering wheel.
He said to me, you've got me, I've got him all right, I'm going to give him a pizzlin'. I'm going to give this guy what for?
He manages to stop the ute. His partner Dee then rushes in armed with a plank of wood and starts swinging.
I got him good, yeah, she did, yeah.
He keeps screaming, ouch, ouch, stop it. And I said, I'm not going to stop you, mate. I keep pushing him and running. I was aiming for his head.
That's what happens when you steal from Guildford.
What happens when you steal from Guildford?
I'm so proud of this country. What a great moment for Australia.
So good.
All the way around. From the top end to here in Sydney. That's what happens when you steal from Guildford. What a beautiful moment. Well done.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Sorry if I'm sounding a little bruised. Fitz had been out last night. I was at the after parties for the Emmys. You know what it's like, mate. TV's night of nights.
Tommy was just trying to give us some goss from the after parties and said all the streamers had their party. What does that even mean, Tom?
Well, like Netflix had their party, HBO had their party.
Right.
All the cast of Baby Reindeer celebrated at the Netflix after party, which looked quite loose.
I was at the Stan one last night.
Did they...
I went from the Stan one to the binge one. I was out of control.
Did they... They didn't invite the original Martha, did they, to the Baby Reindeer party? Congratulations to Baby Reindeer as well, 4 wins. The Bear comes away with 4 wins as well. Shogun did as well. Actually, a bit of controversy with the Bear because the hosts Eugene Levy and also Dan Levy, his son, they hosted the show, and they won a lot of their awards in the comedy category. Have a listen to this.
I know some of you might be expecting us to make a joke about whether the bear is really a comedy. But in the true spirit of the bear, we will not be making any jokes.
Pretty good view.
That's a good line.
You've
That's a
seen
great
The
line.
Bear, Tommy, haven't you?
Oh, it's so good.
Is it?
Yeah,
'Cause
on Disney Plus.
I watched the first ep. I was kind of confused by the chef.
But you would love it because the food's amazing.
Is
It's
it?
the intense, peek behind the curtain of an amazing kitchen.
There's an element of humour to it, but it's a drama. Like there's some episodes. There's one episode on the second series with what's her name? Jamie Lee Curtis is the mother.
Yeah, I love her.
And I'm a whip. I reckon it's the one episode, television episode that I've watched that you cannot sit still the whole time. Like you are so anxious.
Love that.
And you are so off this character.
Yeah.
And afterwards, at the end of it, you're exhausted, aren't you, Tom?
From watching it.
Yeah, it's like being in a fight. Just the intensity for like
You've
53
you've never
minutes.
been in a fight.
No, but if I had been, it would have been like
Hey,
that.
congratulations to Shogun. They stormed at home. I prefer to see Ray Gun.
That would be a Netflix show that I watch.
It's just a little one for you. Tommy, I haven't seen Shogun. You have seen that. You said it's like a Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a Game of Thrones feel to it, but
Like an Oriental Game of Thrones.
like an English ghost ship lands sails into a fishing village in Japan.
Wow.
And it's the struggle of power.
Samurais.
Yeah, samurais.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so congratulations to our only Australian winner, Elizabeth Debicki.
I love this girl. I
Yeah,
think she is amazing.
She played Princess Di in The Crown. This was her acceptance speech.
Peter, thank you. Thank you for making this show, and thank you for trusting me with this. To our producers, thank you for working so hard. Deb Omrod, my hair and makeup, amazing woman who transformed me every day. Kate and Emily, who created the hair and makeup. Sid and Amy, our costume designers, I love you. Our cast are so beautiful. It is such a gift to work with you. Playing this part based on this unparalleled, incredible human being has been my great privilege. It has been a gift. Thank you so very much.
If you haven't seen her in The Crown, she was absolutely extraordinary.
Oh, she would have been drinking a few crowns later on.
I don't think she was. I don't think she drinks Crown Lager. But we also interviewed her too, Fitzy, with one of her smaller roles. If you remember, she was alongside Margot Robbie as Mopsy and Flopsy in Peter Rabbit.
That's right. Yes, we did. We interviewed her and Margot. The show for me, though, that blew everybody away this year was Baby Reindeer. The story of Richard Gadd, and the thing that freaks you out the most, if you haven't seen it yet, you have to. The best thing about that as well, it's a half-hour episodes, and from episode one, it has you addicted to it straight away. You can't turn it off. I had to watch the whole series in one sitting.
How weird would it have been for the real... Is it Martha? Is that her name in the show? The real Martha
yes.
that happened with Richard Gadd. How weird would it have been for her sitting there last night watching her story, in a sense, win an Emmy, and then the fact that the writer is the actual creator of the story and that it happened to him in his real life.
Well, the actor that played Martha, the real-life stalker, is Jessica Gunning. She won an Emmy for that. But Richard Gadd, this is the story of his life. And when you watch this show, you go, oh, my God. I don't know if anyone has hit rock bottom more than this man. This was his acceptance speech last night. He won 2 Emmys, but I thought this was really inspirational.
Look, 10 years ago, I was down and out, right? I never ever thought I'd get my life together. I never ever thought I'd be able to rectify myself with what had happened to me and get myself back on my feet again. And then here I am, just over a decade later, picking up one of the biggest writing awards in television, yeah? Now, I don't mean that. I don't mean that to sound arrogant. I mean it as encouragement for anyone who's going through a difficult time right now to persevere, yeah? I don't know much about this life. I don't know why we're here, none of that. But I do know that nothing lasts forever. And no matter how bad it gets, it always gets better. Yeah, so if you're struggling, keep going. And I promise you, things will be okay. Thank you so much for this award.
I love that.
It's an amazing story.
And in a weird twist, I believe Tommy's just saying at the after party he actually hooked up with Jessica Gunning, who played.
Oh, very good. Very good.
It's just sort of repeating itself a bit on the old mate there. Got his award and finally got his dream too. Reindeer.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
We're on. Yeah. All right. It's time for 60-second starts. Kate Ritchie's Time Still Standing. Now.
Save big this September at Sydney City Kia Alexandria with 3 years free servicing. Don't miss out while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
We're Toon Gabby versus Regents Park this morning. Let's go to contestant number 1, Chris, your character. You're looking forward to the footy finals this weekend, Chris?
Yes, I am. I'm very excited.
Who do you barrack for, Chris?
Normally the Giants, but we're out, so we have to go Swannies, sadly.
Swannies in. I love it.
Chris. Well done. You're up against Robert in Regents Park, representing Regents Park. You listen every morning, but have never played, Robert.
That's correct.
How do you normally go playing along in the car, Rob?
I'll go all right.
All right, okay.
All right.
Feeling good about it.
Robert. Robert and Chris, congratulations. You're in the running for that Kia Sportage SX Hybrid. A hybrid in your garage would look amazing. But $100 up for grabs today. Chris, you're going first. If you get one wrong, power goes over to Robert. Whoever has the power at the end of 60 seconds is the winner. Here we go, Chris. Okay. Take a deep breath, both of you. And Chris, your 60 seconds starts now. A bad dream is called a what, Chris?
A nightmare.
Yes. What type of animal is a taipan?
A snake.
Yep. Name the colours of the Italian flag.
Red, green and white.
Correct. Which movie character is famous for taking a day off school?
Ferris Bueller.
Yes, Bueller. The Weeknd filmed his latest music video entirely on what?
On his phone.
On his phone? I'll give you that. Yes. What city did the Emmys take place in yesterday?
Oh my God, New York?
No, it was Los Angeles. Robert, over to you. Is Emu Plains or Rudy Hill further west?
I'd say Emu Plains.
Emu Plains is correct. Sam Mack is the weatherman on what show, Robert?
Today?
No, it's Sunrise. Chris, back to you. NBA star Kobe Bryant played his entire career for which team?
Chris, you've got it. It was LA Lakers, but Chris, through back to you. You've got $100, but you're both in the running for that brand new car. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
Good on you, Chris. Well done, Robert. Thanks for playing.
Thank you, guys.
Good on you, guys.
Know what? The agony and the ecstasy of I'm Still Standing, mate.
There's a book in that, if not a movie.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Tell you what, we're lucky to get this bloke out of work.
Oh, my God, he loves to breed.
Well, he's always on the road. He's your weatherman on Sunrise. We absolutely adore him. He's got a brand new book out for kids. It's called Suddenly One. Sam Mack, welcome to the show, legend.
Hey, buddy. You guys. Good morning. Great to see you all. It's been a little while.
So long. Mate, you've been a busy boy. You're now a dad of 2, which is great. And what surprised me when I got this book, and I love this book, but
you haven't read it, Whipper. I can see by the look in your eyes. Okay, what's on page 4?
A first, something to do with the first. But I know that I'm surprised you didn't. You were talking about a joke book, weren't you? To rival Koshy's joke book. So I was expecting sort of 1,001 gags or something. You know, a whole lot of one-liners.
Well, this one came about in quite a strange way. When Margot, my daughter, turned one, I wrote this piece which was just celebrating all the milestones, I guess, that every new parent goes through. And I thought no one else cares, and no one does really care. Like, they're on solids. Don't care.
Yes, we do, mate.
But people seem to connect with it because
other
it's
parents
a shared
care.
experience. So I posted it with little bits of video, and overnight it had 1 million views. I mean, numbers you can only dream of, Whip.
Thank you.
And so Penguin slid into the DMs and said, we want to turn this into a picture book. And it's taken about a year, but here it is. She just turned 2 over the weekend, but here it is.
Well, that video was very, very special. And so Sammy did write this poem, Suddenly One, for Margot, and this was it here.
First kiss, first hold, first pitch, first cry, first time you stared into our eyes. First book, first song, first smile, first bar, first time we heard the sound of your laugh. First cuddles, first Christmas, first swim, first flight, first sleep in your own room. We missed you that night. First wave, first point, first step, first clap. First happen fast. We won't get them back. First tooth, first solids, first fear, first fall. A privilege for us to witness them all.
Oh, I'm getting emotional hearing it back, guys. I wasn't ready for that, honestly. And I was playing violin while I was voicing that as well, which I think is quite talented.
Man, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Luckily, the words first divorce wasn't in there as well, Sammy.
Oh, that's book 3, Fitzy.
How's Mabel?
Mabel's great. So Mabel is only 1 month old. It's been a very busy time. And now a lot of people saying, you've got to write a book for her now when she turns 1. It's a lot of pressure.
Well, you do.
Yeah. What did you guys do when your little ones turned 1?
I read an erotic novel called The Far Too Personal Trainer. No, do you know what? I'm the photo book guy.
Okay.
So I've made these massive coffee table books.
Yeah.
And they're from 0 to 2. But I haven't done one for Francesca.
That is nice, but Penguin didn't pick that up, did they?
Didn't ask them to.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want them to. Very private. That's sort of.
So, the first birthday party. The first birthday party of your first child is always the biggest because basically it's more for the adults. And I was at Margot's party.
You were. It was great down at the park there, and it was a really. You're right. It's so funny. Like you put so much effort and you invite all your friends and what have you for the first one. The second one, which was Margot's over the weekend, was literally just a Peppa Pig cake in the backyard.
Awesome.
that was fun.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's a bit like that, isn't it?
The first one was unbelievable. I mean, you had dinosaurs dressed up. There was. I thought it was a little bit too much when Tim Robards took his top off around everybody. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to make sure the Daily Mail photographers were there, and that was the best way to lure them in. Fitz, I'm going to challenge you here because you guys got us a beautiful little gift, and I remember it clearly. I want to see if you had any input into getting this gift or if it was all BJ. What did you guys get us for Margot's first birthday?
Well, it was Johnny Walker Blue Label, wasn't it?
Okay, that's the joke answer, but do you remember?
Do you know what you gave?
Was
Ryan
it a
James.
book? Was it a book?
No,
Sam?
it wasn't a book. No.
Was it a onesie? Was it a onesie?
No.
Was it Fitz and Whipper's smallest fan?
No. This is so cringe. I wanted to keep going. It was Bubble Bath. So, yeah.
Oh, damn. Do you remember when you went and bought the Bubble Bath, Fitz?
Yeah, I know. It took me hours to pick that one out.
Oh, my God. Can I ask too? I would assume there's a third.
A third book?
Child.
I would love it, but it's definitely not a conversation that I would be bringing up. Well, you guys are familiar with cluster feeding, right? Yeah. Well, that's going on. You don't want to be talking about a third.
No.
Oh, my God. That's why I'm here doing radio interviews. Let's take our time today, guys.
Okay.
Sammy, you are the busiest man in Australia, that's for sure. When you're travelling around doing the weather for Sunrise, and now another book on the way, Suddenly One. It's out today.
Yeah, launch
we can
day.
go and get
Congratulations, mate.
Thank you so much, guys. Always great to see you.
Thanks for coming in, mate. Good to see you.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
This is interesting, Fitz, because quite often, and I had no idea, thousands and thousands of people move from London to Sydney every year. They hope for better pay, friendlier people, and an incredibly relaxed lifestyle, this article says. Yet the truth may not be so clear, because when it comes to the cost of living, you can rest assured Sydney is right up there with the biggest city in the world.
Well, can we talk about expenses? Because we instantly feel like here in Australia that going to live in London would be very expensive.
Very expensive.
Especially if you want to be around the London area.
Yeah, if you want to
CBD.
be in the good areas. Just a side note, my election day sausage in bread cost $18. 2 sausage in bread and 2 fruit boxes. $18.
$18?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, but what's your council? What is your council?
I was at Double Bay.
More like double pay.
Well said, no way. And then I rolled into you like this, Fitz, I rolled into the car park. I just followed a guy who was dropping off some gas for the barbecue, and I rolled into the car park, and the woman came over and said, "You can't park here." And I said, I thought the gate was open. I thought I could park it. She goes, "You're off the radio, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." And she went, "All right, you can park here if you host our trivia night." And I went, I think I'll park elsewhere.
I think I'll find another park.
Thanks very much. All right, so where do you want to live, Sydney or London? Very interesting. Because it says here that Sydney gets 10 minutes less than daylight hours if you average it out on a yearly basis.
What do you mean?
I mean, they always talk about how dark it is in the UK and how the
Yes.
sun is always gone.
Yeah, but let's be honest. It's more gloomy over there.
It's just gloomy. That's the thing. But the sun is apparently out. It's just hidden.
Yes,
hidden with the city covered in gloom. All year-round temperatures in winter. It's only 4 degrees difference.
Oh, give me a
this
break.
This is the average for winter.
Give me a break.
And then in summer, the average is only 4 degrees difference.
Oh, what? But there's a lot more humidity here. The weather is way better.
Happiness index.
Okay.
Australia scores 10.
Yeah.
The UK scores 20.
Oh, come on.
We're getting smashed here. It also goes on to say, outgoings.
Did the Maily Dale write this?
The outgoings to your salary coming in, the extremes are greater in Australia than Sydney. So you're whacked. So none of this works in our favour. I don't know what to do anymore, man. Might go and work for the BBC.
It is a beautiful part of the world. We've been there a couple of times for work, and the history, the tradition, it is a beautiful part of the world. But I remember getting up in the morning to go for a run, and it is free. You think it's fresh outside here now. My gosh.
How's the way in the UK? Where did we stay last time? What was the suburb we stayed in, Tommy? You would remember?
Was it Soho?
No, we were in Soho. You're right, we're in Soho. Fitz, I reckon when you're born, like 11 o'clock, maybe 10:30, the pubs are full. Like they're hanging out the windows. Yeah. It's almost like when you're born, they say, all right, what hand do you want the schooner glass glued to? And which will be, what's going to be your cigarette hand? Will it be your right hand or your left hand? Because I'll put the skewy in the other one. They're just heaving. And then when we would do the show at 10 o'clock at night, which was 6 a.m. here, we'd go in at 9:30. Pubs are pumping. We'd walk out then at 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was. Yeah. Pubs are still pumping.
It didn't. So that's the time difference for everyone. Whenever we did our breakfast show back here, it would start around 9, 10 o'clock at night. The worst thing about that, though, was that Whipper always wanted to have a big dinner before we went to work.
That was the worst thing. I'd go out for a big lunch, come home and sleep, and then demand that we had a big dinner.
We're doing a breakfast show and we've just finished a 5-course meal.
Couldn't believe they had such good mud crab in the UK. What do you know? Thanks for having me, London.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
What about this for a business, Fitz? A man claims he gets paid to ruin people's weddings. I mean, the work that goes into your special day is extraordinary. But if you...
Who's paying them to do this?
Well...
Family members?
It can be the bride...
Right.
Who says, I don't want to go through with this. I don't know how to get out of it. So I need something drastic to happen, and I need the best in the business. And that's where this bloke rolls into town. Ernestono is his name. I don't need the accent. No. Let's just call him Ernest.
Yep.
So what he'll do, if you've got doubts, right? He will turn up to your wedding. He says, just give me a time and a place. Don't worry about anything else. Yeah. He can cancel your wedding for you. So he will turn up and he will pretend to be the love of your life.
Oh, do you want to go out with a blaze of glory like that, though?
He will beg for you, grab you by the hand and run away with you in front of the crowd that is there. It started as a joke, Fitz, but now this bloke charges $700.
What?
Per wedding. And he's flat knacker. So he'll appear at the ceremony and say that I'm in love with you. We will run away together hand in hand. And off they go.
See, but you could... You've got to be lucky to even get out of the event.
Well...
Because there'd be family members chasing you down.
It's a really good point. Because the added extra, for example, if he gets slapped, punched or kicked, he gets paid even more. Every slap earns him another $70.
Do you know what you do? You have a setup. You have someone in there who comes in as well that he pays to come in and slap him a couple of times.
Awesome.
So he gets paid extra and he gives them a percentage of that.
Each slap is worth $70. If I try to run, but I'm aware every time I get hit, I get paid more. So if I go slow, if I go even slower, that's how I earn my money.
We had a first ever event I did at Nova. It was a backyard party, and it was at a pub, right? And across the road there was a wedding going on, and unfortunately it got a bit rowdy at the Nova party, and one of the patrons there decided to go across and do a nudie run in front of the wedding.
Well, through the wedding?
Through the wedding. Got such a good reaction, right, that he came back and everyone gave him a standing ovation, and they were like, do it again, do it again. This time, though, the groomsmen saw him coming, clotheslined him, knocked him out. He was knocked out on the ground completely naked in front of the bride and groom. Broke his nose.
Thanks so much for coming along to the Nova party. It's been great to have everyone here today. That's a go with a bit of claret from the bugle.
So how much would you get for that?
That's
unconscious.
extra.
What are you getting, 500 for that?
You're doubling your money. Do you know what? Started out as a joke, like I said, but he is fully booked until the 2nd of November. So,
well done. Who ruined your wedding? Did you? I mean, you don't have to pay somebody to do that. Usually family members do it. But was it a family member? Was it a friend? Was it an ex who was there or rocked up? Juicy stories. Love them.
Eva in North Ryde, welcome to the show. What happened at your wedding?
So, my long-time boyfriend decided that he was going to ruin my wedding. When he found out that I was engaged, he actually told me before the wedding that he's going to ruin it. So on the day, I was very nervous.
Yeah.
He said that he will barge into the church and not let me say it, that I do.
Oh, my God.
In the process, he forgot that my brother was a professional kickboxer, so it didn't end up really well for him, unfortunately.
So did he turn up on the day, Eva?
I don't know, but my brother told me that he actually managed to stop him outside the church, and that's how we decided with my husband to move to Australia, because I just couldn't see myself living in that community with him around.
Oh,
he was
my
a bit of
God, he's a psycho.
He was a bit of a psycho.
Oh, Eva, that would have been, I mean, I suppose great entertainment for anyone there, but oh my gosh. So your brother obviously just detained him and said, no, you can't have anything to do with this.
Absolutely protected his little sister, as always.
Watching the kickboxing channel 24 hours a day.
There you go. Roundhouse kick to the head. I do.
Half-turn Lebanese heel kick.
Rachel and Miranda, who ruined yours?
Well, try having a wedding without a cake. That was a bit hard. The caterers came up to us, up to me halfway through the wedding, just before the waltz, and said, "Hey, Rach, where's the wedding cake?" And I said, "Oh, just hang on a second. I'll ask my husband. Him and his mates were supposed to organise that." So I walked up to my husband, and there he was having a best time. I said, "Hey, babe." He said, "Yes, darling." And I said, "Where's the wedding cake?" And he went white and he went grey and he looked very dizzy.
Oh, you rookie mistake, leaving it in charge of your husband there,
One
Rach.
job. What happened, Rach?
Well, I said, "Don't ruin the wedding. We're having a great time. It's just a cake." And the caterers, God bless them, we had 150 guests. They managed to chop the kids' cake, the mud cake for the kids.
Oh, well done.
150 pieces.
Good
They
effort.
decorated with ice cream and chocolate and some flowers.
Rach, are you still married to this man?
Oh, yes, we got our wedding anniversary, 16 years now on Thursday.
That is fantastic. What's his name, Rach?
His name's Robbie.
Robbie.
My beautiful
the
Robbie.
jobby, isn't he?
Well done, Rach.
What a catch.
Good work. Macca in Spring Farm. Who ruined your wedding, Macca?
It was our DJ/MC.
Oh, no.
She got that drunk that she ended up going into the cubicle being sick, and no one could get in there because she locked the door.
The tunes had stopped, and the decks had stopped spinning. Macca, did you realise she was going quiet? Could you tell by the song she was playing that she was tipping a few in?
No, but someone caught her drinking in the toilets earlier, so it was on the cards.
Oh, no.
Just really nervous about playing Who Let the Dogs Out.
That's that she's trying to calm the nerves and unfortunately gone too. I did that at yours.
What, you
had
got
a few
drunk?
I had a few too many drinks, and you were the last part of my MC role was to introduce you and Lisa. And I remember, I remember stuffing it up.
Oh, well, I remember you dropped an F-bomb in front of my nan before you'd introduced us.
I introduced you as John Paul, and I
What Dad always wanted me to be called. Ladies and gentlemen, Jean Paul and Lisa.
Sean Paul Whipfley and the Whipfley partnership.
Thank you.
Come on down.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Would you like a life hack to finish the show on?
We like the Life Improver. How good's the Life Improver? Oh yeah, the Life Improver. Your life improver!
Couple of reasons why I'm doing this one. First of all, the first reason is, went into Mecca the other day. God, how
Did you, mate?
expensive is foundation?
What sort of products were you looking for?
Well, foundation.
Yeah, and just
so
an eyeliner
expensive.
or...
It's crazy. Second of all, this is for all the people that are about to go into prison. So if you've just been given your sentence and you're about to go into Silverwater, have I got a life hack for you? Have a listen to this.
Today I'm trying a prison makeup hack for foundation. So I'm just mixing some baby powder, coffee and some lotion until I get kind of an alright shade and consistency. As you can see, this is a little bit too dark, but I thought I'm just going to go with it and then see what happens. Just blending it all in, and actually this looked like bronzing drops in lotion. I was really impressed. This is so clever. So yeah, this is what it's looking like. Then I went away and added all the rest of my makeup, and this is a finished look. Sorry, it's so loud, but let me know what you think.
I don't get it.
Baby powder, coffee and lotion, and there is your homemade foundation.
Oh, so when you're in prison...
Your bronzer.
That's how you mix it up.
Well, I suppose there's going to be a moment where you get a knock at your cell and you want to look your best.
You want to be ready on the day you get out 20 years later. You don't want anyone to think you've aged.
Hi, guys. How are you? Come on in.
Well, what's happened to you? You look like Donald Trump.
That looks amazing. Where did you get that? Was that from Mecca? No. Bit of baby powder, coffee and lotion, and you can look like this.
Can we play an honesty game? Tom Ivey, could you please step up to the microphone?
I'm already here.
We went out for dinner the other night. Went into the city. Went to a fancy restaurant to celebrate Fitzy's 20 years at Nova. Clam Bar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
that was good. That was
beautiful
good food.
Sydney restaurant.
I stopped you under the light at the door out the front.
Oh.
And I said to you, Tom, are you wearing a tinted moisturiser?
What?
Tom, have you been wearing a tinted moisturiser?
No.
And then we were somewhere else the other day, and I said, have you had a spray tan? And you went, no,
the singles ball, you thought I had a spray tan.
I was sure you'd had a spray tan.
No,
but now I realise you're using a tinted moisturiser.
Well, I found a sunscreen that has a bit of a tint in it. That gives, because I'm very pale and pasty, in case it didn't come across on air.
Yeah, like paper mache.
Yeah, and actually I got a skin check once, and the skin check lady said to me, "You need to go and get some more sun."
Yeah, never heard by a skin check person before.
So I got a tinted, a slight tinted sunscreen.
Tinted moisturiser.
You know what? There's a lot more men out there wearing it than you think there is.
Yeah.
Actually, I heard a podcast that Rosso did, and Rosso's number one tip to everyone out there was tinted moisturiser. And Tommy, well, the other good thing is there's a sunscreen to it. So you can wear it before you go outside, moisturise your face, and also look nice and healthy.
There you go.
So, Tom, you get ready to go out. Your wife walks into the bathroom.
Yeah.
There you are, putting a tint on your face.
Yeah.
You then use a frizz de Smith for your hair and a Moroccan oil. And she walks in and goes, that's my man. There goes my hero.
What about some squat and poof, Tom? Have you got any of that left? Can we get some more made up?
We've got one lot of squat and poof left.
Talcum powder, yeah?
Yeah, talcum powder, which could work for that prison story that you just mentioned.
Yeah, for the foundation.
Yeah.
You just had a bit of coffee and lotion, and you've got yourself a bronzer.
Puts the lotion on. There we go. Off we go. Love it.
It's the lotion.
Here we go.
Silence of the lambs.
What's on tomorrow, guys?
Trying to wind us up, Tom?
Fitz and Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.